Please join us on Turalura Lura, and that is found on page 6 of your songbooks. Over in Killarney, many years ago, my mother sang a song to me in tones so sweet and low, just a simple little ditty in a good old Irish way, and I'd give the world if she could sing that song to me this day. Tooraloo-ra-loo-ra, tooraloo-ra-loo, tooraloo-ra-loo-ra. Hush, now don't you cry. Tooraloo-ra-loo-ra, tooraloo-ra-loo, tooraloo-ra-loo-ra. That's an Irish lullaby. Oft in dreams I wander to that cot again. I feel her arms a-hugging me as when she held me then. And when I hear her voice a-humming to me in days of yore, when she used to rock me fast asleep outside the cabin door. Tooraloo-ra-loo-ra, tooraloo-ra-loo, tooraloo-ra-loo-ra. Hush, now don't you cry. Tooraloo-ra-loo-ra, tooraloo-ra-loo, tooraloo-ra-loo-ra. That's an Irish lullaby.
Well, good morning. My name is Dan Schuster, and I'm the celebrant for today's service. I'm honored to be here. I had a chance to talk to Pegeen and learn about Joni and her life, and it sounds like it was a life well lived. So we're here to celebrate that fact today, and we'll do that in a variety of ways, and a big part of it's going to be music, and thank you to our musicians today. All things Irish, so even found a green suit that I could wear today, so that was good. We'll have some, I'll share some of the things that Pegeen told me about Mom, and then we have some people who wish to speak, and they'll be given an opportunity to do so. And if something's said that triggers a memory for any of the rest of you, you'll be given an opportunity to speak as well. And then at the end of the service, I'll have some brief words from a Christian perspective about why we can really call this a celebration of life. So with memories and music and a brief meditation, that's how the service will unfold. But it is so good that you're together here today. Just think, a year ago, had this happened, we wouldn't have been able to do this. And I think we learned how important this is when it was kind of taken away from us. That's oftentimes happens in life. But I think the custom evolved over the years because it's important. It's important for two reasons. The family needs the support and they love to hear from you, and also it's important for you all to be able to express your love and support at a time like this. So on behalf of the family, God bless you for coming today and showing your love and care. It really means a great deal. And I hope that moving forward, that you'll continue to keep the family in your thoughts and prayers, because grief is a process. It takes time to go through this loss and to figure out how to move on. So you're here today. I hope you'll be there tomorrow, next week, next month, and I have a feeling that you certainly will be. So once again, thank you for being here today. So why don't I begin by reading Joni's obituary. Joni O'Connell, nee Delaney. She's born on December 13th, 1936. And she was 84 when she passed away on October 18th of congestive heart failure. She's survived by her husband, Jerry, her children, Pegeen with Mike, Dan, Shannon with Brent, grandchildren, Sean and Heather and Colton, and Rena and Riley, and great-grandchildren, Malaya and Mackay, and Delaney, many nieces and nephews, and obviously a lot of friends as well. She's preceded in death by her parents, Thomas and Mary, and her brothers Thomas the third and infant brother, Christopher, and many wonderful aunts, uncles, cousins, nephews, and nieces. She was known also as the Ireland Lady, as she escorted tours following her parents' footsteps to Ireland for more than 35 years. And I'm told that this wasn't maybe just once a year. Oftentimes it was more, 2 or 3 times a year she did that. She also escorted tours to Spain and Portugal, Greece and Turkey, the Netherlands, Alaska, New England, and Branson. She was a member of the St. Patrick's Association, having been selected as a designated Irish woman in 2005. She's past president and a member of the St. Paul Hiking Club, having walked thousands of miles around St. Paul, and also a member of the Hamlin University Elders Group, where she taught arthritis-friendly exercise classes for more than a decade. She was proud also to be a 29-year ovarian cancer survivor. She was born in St. Paul, raised in Falcon Heights, went to the Durham Hall High School. After she got her kids grown up and raised, she went back to school and got her business degree from St. Kate's College. You all know her, and I did not, but obviously she maintained a really busy lifestyle. Never one to walk anywhere, always in a hurry and always with a lot of things to do. So that's just kind of the brief biographical sketch, and now I think we have some people who wish to speak.
Good morning. Holy buckets, there's a lot of people here. So I'm Pegeen. Those of you that don't know me, I'm the oldest, and I'm sure my brother and sister would still call me the bossy older sister. I've been that way forever, and I probably will always be that way, so I just tell them get used to it. But on behalf of my brother Dan, my sister Shannon, and my mom's husband Jerry, I want to thank all of you for coming out today to help us celebrate Mom. So this is my mom. She loved her family, her friends, and life. She and Jerry were a part of the St. Paul Hiking Club for years. They even got the dog Ozzy involved. He even had his own little pin. And he had his own mileage total, because I remember going to the house and I'd see listings of their newsletters, and there they were, 200 miles, 400 miles, 600 miles, and it'd always be Mom, Jerry, and the dog. They were both president of the group and enjoyed walking all over St. Paul and surrounding communities. In fact, they walked all the time. She'd never miss her Sundays. So Mother's Day, if I wanted to see my mom, I better go hike. So I would hike on Mother's Day with Mom. They were square dancers, she and Jerry. There was a poster out there with all kinds of different square dance clothes. They danced with the Roseville Triple T Club, dancing weekly. And they also were trained. So if you saw the picture where they had the cap and gowns or the motorboards on, they were trained to be what were called angels. And they taught other people how to square dance, young and old alike. In fact, my nephew, her grandson, Sean, was a part of one of her classes for a while. I'm not exactly sure how they got involved with the square dancing, but I know how much they loved it. And then I'm not even sure how this happened, but one year she was crowned queen of the Square Dance Club. So there's a crown on her head one year. And she started teaching arthritis-friendly classes. She was certified through the Arthritis Foundation, and she taught these classes for many years and in all kinds of different places. A couple of different senior centers, apartment buildings, and then the last 10 years she was with the Hamlin Midway Elders and taught those exercise classes. She was also an ovarian cancer survivor, 29 years. And most people, if you know anything about ovarian cancer, you don't find out about it until the very, very end. And I think with her thin statue, that was something that was in our favor because we found this lump. And from the day she found the lump to the day she had her surgery was about 6 days. And so we got in, got it out. She had her chemo. So she had her surgery, she had chemo. We had Christmas. She had surgery. I know, here's that freaky weird memory of mine again. She had her surgery. We had Christmas. We had chemo. We had New Year's Eve. And she went back to work the next week. The docs told her 6 weeks to recover. That's just from surgery. She did it in 3 and went right back to work because she had a trip to Ireland that June. And she had stuff to do. She was not going to let this little thing hold her back. She went to Ireland in June without a care in the world. Chemo was over, hadn't lost her hair, nothing. She was in Ireland. And of course, everybody in Ireland knew about all the cancers, so when they welcomed her with open arms, and if they normally had 2 hanging baskets of flowers, they now had 5. Because she said, it'd be really nice to see all of the hanging baskets when I get there on my trip, because I don't know if it'll be my last. She was really good at guilting people into getting what she wanted. But with that ovarian cancer survivorship, she participated a lot with MOCA, the Minnesota Ovarian Cancer Alliance. She participated in their fall walk for multiple years and would attend events to talk about what it was like to be an ovarian cancer survivor and her journey of that survival. And I remembered this last night after I was doing this. One of the other things that she and Jerry did is they tried to be ski patrol. Now, Jerry used to ski, having come from Canada. Mom, pair of skis, are you kidding me? Half the time I think she couldn't even walk a straight line, but she got on a pair of skis and they loved it. Well, I guess the year of the exam was a pretty icy year and she didn't pass, so, which is probably a good thing. I don't know. She might have had broken legs after all this. So, but she did. They tried being a ski patrol. Little known fact that I didn't remember about that until last night. She was part of the Neighborhood Watch, one of the original members of the neighborhood there on Maple Lane. She'd meet with the Roseville police to talk about community issues, how to keep the neighborhood safe. She coordinated the neighborhood national night outs. Every August, she'd get the tables out. She'd send flyers to around the neighbors. In fact, we found flyers in the house from all the different years that she did this. She got the fire department to show up for the kids. And in fact, when we've been over doing things with the house, all the neighbors are saying, we're going to really miss them for the national night out. Because we always had fun. It was always right in front of their yard because they were on the corner there. So they really were going to miss not having the 2 of them do that. You know, they did say that it would take a lot of big shoes to try and have the party the same as Mom and Jerry would always have. And then, of course, there was the St. Paul St. Patrick's Association. She got involved after Shannon ran for Miss Shamrock in 1998. She would attend the events like pinning on buttons to getting ready to sell to the different bars. She would be at the crowning for Miss Shamrock, the worst tenor contest, the nursing home tour, the wearing of the green dinner, and that's where that sequin dress comes from. She had to have that for the wearing of the green dinner. And of course, she walked in many a parade. And then it was 2005, because of all of her Irish involvement in the community, I nominated her to be Distinguished Irish Woman, and she was selected. She was so excited, and we were so excited. So a crowning achievement for someone who calls herself the Ireland Lady. Now, y'all know that as a single mom, she had a really hard time navigating in the early years. She was always worried about having enough money. Would there be food on the table? Were there clothes to wear? Would we even have a roof over our head? I know our grandparents helped her out a lot, but she still continued to worry about all of us. Having been a stay-at-home mom in those early years, she now needed to go to work, which meant us 3 kids were kind of on our own. And working during those days meant she wasn't there when we got home from school. We were the latchkey kids. We finally had to have a key to the house now. And she knew exactly how long it would take for me to walk home. Being the oldest, I got out of school first. I was in junior high, and I walked to school every day. But what she didn't do was take into account that I always needed to go to the bathroom once I got home. So the phone would ring, and ring, and ring, and ring, and ring, and ring, and ring. Of course, these were before cell phones, before answering machines. Well, by the time I could finally answer the phone, she's like, "Where were you?" "I just got home, Mom, and I had to go to the bathroom." "Well, I need to know the minute you get in the door." I go, "But Mom, you gotta wait another minute. Give me another 5. And she's like, "No, something could happen in that 5 minutes. You could be hit by a car. Someone could snatch you. I just need to know that you're safe." I said, "Okay then, but just know the phone's going to keep ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing until I'm done in the bathroom, and then I will answer the phone." She was sort of okay with that, but so don't ever call me when I'm in the bathroom, because I won't answer the damn phone. And especially with cell phones, I won't answer the phone. She tried to attend all of our plays, our concerts, our sporting events. Sometimes she made it, sometimes she didn't. The ones she did attend, you could tell how proud she was of our accomplishments. So when the grandkids started arriving, she attended all of their events. The ice skating shows, the Irish dance shows, the soccer games. And Colton, I'm sorry, but I can't remember. Did she ever get to one of your hockey games? Yeah, she did. Oh, she did. Okay, good for her. The cold might have deterred her. She and Jerry went to the grandparent church masses. They tried their best to not miss one event. And they took the grandkids everywhere. They went to the Greek festivals. They went to the nature center for all kinds of different activities. I think they probably made maple syrup every fall. All the Rose festivals, overnight camping, train rides down to Red Wing, the kids to the circus, and even one grandchild got to go to Ireland twice with Grandma. Our grandparents taught us all about Ireland from the time we were little. Mom had heard many stories from her Irish grandfather, who migrated from Ireland. Well, in 1970, I was lucky. No, 72, sorry, 1972. 70 was the year Shannon was born. 1972, I was lucky to go to Ireland with my grandparents and my cousin. They decided that they should start taking the grandkids places, so the oldest of the 2 families got to go. So other than my grandparents, we were the first of the family to go to Ireland. Our family's love of Ireland was well instilled long before Mom started these trips to Ireland. So when she got the chance to lead a tour to Ireland, she took it and ran. And run she did. 35 years of trips to Ireland. How does that happen? Or I should say, how does that continue to happen? Well, if you know our mom, lots and lots of hard work. She designed the tour back in the beginning and took pride in the fact that there was no other tour in the country that provided this unique experience to Ireland. She worked with CIE a European tour company to develop this custom trip to Ireland. Our grandfather initially worked with CIE, so she was able to pick up right from where he left off. She took ideas from her father and then created her own tour. And then she promoted the tour herself. Many, many phone calls to people, having a booth at a Minnesota Irish Fair to get people interested in the tours. In fact, we even went to Dallas to the Irish Fair to try and drum up business. I don't think she got anybody from Dallas, but I still had a ton of fun going to Dallas for the Irish Fair. She handpicked these people. She only wanted those that had an interest in Ireland to be on the tour. And after being on one of her tours, you wanted to go back. And she had many returning customers. In fact, one lady, 19 times. 19 times. She could have probably done the tour. In fact, she even brought each of the grandchildren on one of those tours. And she would receive many accolades during those years. She was honored by both the Lord Mayor of Dublin and the Lord Mayor of Killarney. They called her the unofficial ambassador to Ireland. In fact, she probably went to Ireland more than our own U.S. ambassador did, so she was really the unofficial ambassador. And this trip started a host of other trips. Her clients would say to her, "Have you thought about going somewhere else?" Now, we all know the answer to this. In her mind, there was no other place to visit but Ireland. Why would you want to go anywhere else? But they persisted, and she would research, and she would develop tours. And you already heard. So she went to Greece and Turkey. She went to Spain and Portugal. She went to the Netherlands. She planned a cruise through Alaska, multiple times to New England to see the fall colors, and then to Branson. And the Branson trip is because there was an Irish singer that she loved. His name was Tony Kenny, and he had a show down in Branson. So that's why she went down to see him. She had quite the following. Now, we know she wasn't into technology. There's no internet in the house, no cable, and of course we know there was no cell phone, which drove us all nuts, especially when she and Jerry drove on their cross-country trips. But she enjoyed the phone calls with her family and her friends, especially those early morning phone calls to sing happy birthday to us kids. Now, were any of you a recipient of an early morning happy birthday phone call? Well, this past February, when she called to wish me happy birthday, she forgot I was in a different time zone. I always went to Mexico in February for my birthday. She called at 6 a.m. because she was on her way to her annual colonoscopy that day and didn't want to forget to call me. So she called first thing in the morning. But she forgot I was in a different time zone. It was 5 a.m. when I got my birthday phone call that day. She just said, I just didn't want to forget. I'm going to be busy today. And you're going to get by the pool and you're not going to get my phone call. So 5 a.m. Did I wake you? Yeah. But she also never forgot to send a birthday card or a thank you note. After family gatherings, there were plenty of thank you cards to let us know how much she appreciated that we had attended the event and that to thank us for the gifts that we gave her and to Jerry. I know many of you out there are recipients of these handwritten thank you notes. You know, not many people write a handwritten note these days. So that now is a treasured gift from Mom. In the later years, I would talk to her about slowing down. We all know that answer. That fell on deaf ears. The word slow was not in her vocabulary. Back in the 90s, ovarian cancer didn't prevent her from going to Ireland. A complex neck surgery around 2004 also didn't prevent her from going to Ireland. Nothing was going to stop her, and I mean nothing. We all knew that fast was her speed, and that eventually would lead to a few bad falls. There were bruised faces. There were broken ribs. That still didn't stop her. She didn't care. Bad joints, compliments of the Murray family genetics. meant knee replacements, plus some lifelong chronic back pain. But none of this stopped her or Jerry from their cross-country tours. They'd get in the car around January and February and drive up to Canada to see his dad, to see his sister. They'd see relatives. They'd see people that my grandparents corresponded with in New Jersey, ladies that went to Florida with them. They'd put over 5,000 miles on the car. They'd see her cousin Mitch in North Carolina. She'd see my cousin Kathy and Patty. Yep, I have another set of Kathy and Patty in my family down in Tennessee. She'd see all kinds of people. Frederica was another friend she'd visit down in Florida. It just didn't stop them. She continued to teach her exercise classes. She was swimming at the YMCA. She was visiting with her friends. Nothing was going to stop her. Independent, fierce, stubborn, funny, loyal, and generous. As her friend said to me, full of life.
This would be nice to do right now. Or whatever.
Wait a second.
Okay, sure.
Does anybody else have something they'd like to offer? Okay, we'll hear a little song now.
Go ahead. smiling, sure it's like a morning spring. In the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. When Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, sure they steal your heart away.
Well, in hearing Joni's story and talking with Pegeen, the overwhelming impression I have is that she certainly packed a lot of living into her 84 years, didn't she? When you think of the people's lives that she touched throughout her life, with her travels to various parts of the world, particularly Ireland. I heard today about her dance, square dancing, people that she taught to do that, the hiking club, and the arthritis exercise group. I think it seems to me that she was indeed a force for good in her life, and that she mastered the concept of treating each day as a gift. It reminded me of a story I heard a while back. This is a story about a 92-year-old woman who had to move into a nursing home. And she was well-fashioned, well-poised, and very proud. And she also happened to be blind. And her husband of 70 years had recently passed away, and that necessitated her move into the nursing home. So the day she moved in, there was an aide who was escorting her to her new room. And the aide was describing the room to the blind lady. And the blind lady, she says, "I loved it." She said as enthusiastically as a small child at Christmas morn. But the aide explained, "Well, we haven't gotten there yet. We're walking towards the room." And the woman said, "That doesn't matter. Happiness is something you decide on ahead of time. And my happiness doesn't depend on the furniture or how it is arranged. Rather, it is all about how I arrange my mind, and I've already decided that I'm going to love it. It's a decision I make every morning. I figure I can spend my day moping around about my life, or I can get up and be thankful for what I still have. Because each day is a gift, and as long as I know that and I celebrate that fact, I will be happy." Seems to me on an intuitive level, that's how Joni conducted her life. Because we have a choice each and every day. And I hope that all of us do what I think Joni did mostly, and that is, let's choose to be blessed. Let's choose to feel grateful. Let's choose to feel excited. Let's choose to be thankful. And let's choose to be happy. Because really, if you think about it, life is like we're all in line. Every minute someone leaves this world behind, and we are all in line without knowing it. We never know how many people are in line ahead of us. We can't move to the back of the line. We can't step out of the line, and we can't avoid the line. So while we are in line, let's make our moments count. Let's make time for the people that we love. Make our gifts known. Make a nobody feel like somebody. Make your voice heard. Make small things big. Make someone smile. Make the change that you've been meaning to make in your life. Make love. Make peace. Make sure you tell the people that they are loved. Make sure you have no regrets, and most importantly, make sure you are ready. I also hope that on a day like today that your faith is a comfort to you. And I think it can be summed up in the words of John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. What that means for us today is that for God so loved Joni that he sent his Son to die on a cross so that Joni could live with him forever. And because of that, I think we could hear this. This would be something from Joni up in heaven looking down, and she would say this to you today. My prayers have all been answered, and I have finally arrived. The healing that had been delayed has now been realized. No one's in a hurry here. There's no schedule to keep. I'm just enjoying Jesus sitting at his feet. If you could see me now, I'm walking streets of gold. If you could see me now, I'm standing tall and whole. If you could see me now, you know that I have seen his face. If you could see me now, you know that the pain has been erased. And you wouldn't want me to ever leave this place if only you could see me now. Amen. I'll end the service with a blessing for you, and following a blessing, the funeral director will come forward with a word of instruction. And, and after that word of instruction, our musicians will play us out with a nice song. So the blessing it can only be the Irish blessing today. And that is that made the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand. Amen.
Just a couple of quick announcements. Once again, thank you all for being here today. Immediately following the service, we'll be proceeding to Calvary Cemetery for final committal prayers. We will be going in procession, so those of you that do wish to join us at the cemetery, turn on your headlights and emergency flashers so the escort does know you're a part of the procession. And after those committal prayers at Calvary Cemetery, you're all invited to a luncheon, which is going to be right next door to us here, just south at the B. Dale Club, where there'll be a luncheon there. If you don't wish to go to the cemetery and do want to partake in that luncheon, you can go to B. Dale, wait for the family to return. Otherwise, they'll be back there probably around 12:15 for the luncheon next door at B. Dale Club.
May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. May the rain fall softly on your fields, and until we meet again, and may you keep safe in the gentle, loving arms of God. To everything there is a season, a time for meeting, a time to say goodbye. In all things, God is near, always guiding your way. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. May the rain fall softly on your fields, and until we meet again, may you keep safe in the gentle, loving arms of God. To everything there is a season, a time for living, a time for letting go. In all things, God is near, always guiding your way. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. May the rain fall softly on your fields, and until we meet again, may you keep safe in the gentle, loving arms of God.
conclude our service. If you wish to find your way to your cars or your vehicles, once again, if you're going to the cemetery, you can turn in your four-way flashers and they'll get you flagged and arranged. Once again, thank you for being here. Thank you too.